Well, today is my first trip to Andy's Garden in Troy, Ohio. I was up there to go get a haircut, and I decided I would stop in here. I'd heard about it from some of the Facebook groups, but I've never been there, and I'm very glad I went. Now, I just had time to get through part of it. It's huge. I recommend it definitely. Really big place. They have all kinds of supplies, anything you want. Now, of course, just in the door, there's my favorite sedum, the sedum Fall to Glow. It's an outdoor sedum, creeping. It's very colorful. You would love this if you got it. Now, these are outdoors. You don't plant them indoors. They winter over. Snow falls on them. They're just pretty and orange in the snow. They're just wonderful. Now, they had a lot of moss for $3.99, and I'm assuming those little containers of the sedum were the same. Now, this one is the sedum emigrantium. That means little evergreen. It is so colorful. I love this plant. It's getting ready to bud and bloom here. These are all hardy to zone 4. I'm in zone 6, and they do wonderfully. So colorful. Such a nice plant. The tricolor is good too. You should try it. Now, this spring flower, the lungwort, I don't have any growing currently, but I really love it. It's been in some flower beds for the garden club. It's called pulmonaria. It has these gorgeous little blue and pinkish flowers in the spring. It's really pretty. $16.99 for these. Looks like about a gallon pot. Isn't too bad a price either. Azaleas. Oh, look at the, I don't know if you call that Annabelle hydrangea or if that's the mop head. $20 for those pots. Now, over in the succulent area, they had a lot of sempervivum. I love those that they label. This particular garden center is one that has a lot of their plants labeled. Now look at this, the goldfish plant. I really think that's nice. I've seen it blooming before, really cute. But it's one of those plants I'd really have to think long and hard. $22.99 for these small plants. That's about a 6 or 8 inch pot there. But I'd have to think long and hard before I'd sink the $23 into it. I'll have to research it to see if it's any way finicky. Now look at all these pretty ones over here. Really pretty pots. I like that. Now this is one of the succulent varieties, and you see where they have the name on it for you. Some kind of kalanchoe. I like that. That's a really pretty plant. And some of their combinations. I like to get ideas of what to plant with what in these garden centers. Isn't this pretty? The chalk sticks, I think that is, with an Echeveria, the Pearl von Nuremberg. I think that, yeah, that's what that one says. But I think I would like to put some chalk sticks with my pearls or other Echeveria. Now that's pretty. I have a pot near to that shape. That would be gorgeous with a fern in it. I like that idea. And this, I fell in love with it. I started to Google search it immediately. It looked like a Tradescantia, so I started looking under World of Succulents, and there it was. It's a Tradescantia navicularis or Calesia navicularis, a chain plant. I just love the way that grows. You can tell it's a real thick and heavy Tradescantia, and they say it doesn't get this look unless it's in really, really good full sun. I'm going to try it. I need to find me a little switch of it. Oh, these are pretty. I like how colorful they are. Echeveria. I've got several of those. I don't know varieties at all, so some of you experts will have to let us know what these are. But they were $8.99, $9.99. Now it looks like a lot of people have cleaned out some of these. They're $4.99, and I don't see any of those small pieces of the chain plant. But these string of pearls were huge. They were $23 for the small pots, but the pearls were gigantic. I like that. I've had that little cypress, lemon cypress. Grows really well. And I think this is a strawberry begonia. I have been wanting a strawberry begonia, but that was the only one they had. And since it had a little bit of trauma to the leaves and stuff like that, I decided to not pick this one up. I'll just keep an eye out for another one sometime soon. Now, walking back through, I'm only in one side of the area, but it's so huge, I do have to come back. I'll need to bring my daughter so we can explore together. Now, this is a coleus. It's a pretty kind I've not seen before called Freckles, but it looks so bright and sunshiny. It was in a fullish sun area, real bright sunlight. In fact, I was getting hot in there with a sweater. But it's a pretty one. And the New Guinea impatiens, I love those. I love that foliage, and I love the intense color of the flowers. Gorgeous plants. I do want to get some of those. $6.99 each. Not too bad for such a nice plant. Oh, and the hibiscus are so pretty. So colorful and such nice big blooms. They have so many different colors in here. I think I might try one of those in a big planter out on the deck. They were, I think they were $19.99. Let me look here. Yes, $19.99 for that size of a pot. But so looks worth it. Such a pretty, pretty plant. Now this is Creeping Jenny. I've had that before and I like it a lot, but it can get away with you. It will grow all over the place. Looks the prettiest in the early spring, but then after that snails get to it. I think that's lemon coral. I didn't stop and take a look at it. And I liked this one. This looks like my purple heart plant, but a real brilliant colored one. I meant to go back and get it, but once I went back out and got all excited about the plant I eventually chose, you'll see that, I forgot what the other one I wanted, but I'm pretty sure it was this one. I wanted to pick one of those up. They have a lot of fuchsia. Those are pretty. And I think this is the osteospermum. Now I've got a Dracaena. I think it's this style, the marginata. It's not doing too well. I need to study up on that plant and see what I'm doing wrong. But this is a pretty arrangement. It looks like a bird bath type thing or a bubble fountain, but of course without the fountain running since it's got these succulents in it. But they're about to bloom. That resembles the Angelina, but I'm pretty sure that's that lemon ball. Sort of a cousin. Now these aloes are gorgeous. I never thought of letting them go so thickly into a pot. I transplanted mine, the Crosby's Prolific. I had that and took it apart when it was getting thick like that, but I should have just bumped it up into a bigger pot because I think that's gorgeous. And I don't know the price on that one. Now these variegated New Guinea impatiens I thought looked really good with a fern. They were near their little water feature. I love that. Now I tried to read all the directions about the Dracaena so that I can try to remedy mine. But we'll see how that works. Now this spider plant in this wicker cone-shaped basket, I think that really looks good. I like that. That would look good on my little sun porch, screened-in sun porch. I guess it's just the plant for the, I think it was $49.99. And the more fern baskets with the New Guinea impatiens. Now look at the elephant ear planted here, really big and huge, but underneath of it was the Oh, what are these plants called? I can't think of it. Oh, anthurium. I need to fix that. Now these, Dracaena said, the ruby Madagascar dragon tree. Gorgeous. And those birds of paradise look really nice. Can't tell if there's any blooms on that. I've got one at home and I am anxious to see if it'll bloom this year. We've never had a bloom on it yet, but we'll see. And I don't know what that is, that giant succulent thing. Way, about 8 foot high over there. Really good. Now these tropical pots look really good. They had assorted plants in them, but they look so pretty. The little greens and yellows and pinks and peachy colors sprinkled among the regular foliage plants that you do see in pots. Really looks good. I like that. A little purple waffle. And it looks like some of the, now the Mandevilla, that looks really good. I've had that previously. I do like that. They bloom a lot. I'd like the vining trellis style. $50 for these. I'll have to consider that price. But these are really pretty. Such a huge blossom. Hummingbirds would flock to that. And I love my hummingbirds. Okay, now we're over into the osteospermum. They had so many of those in so many colors. Really pretty peachy and orange shades. Yellow with dark eyes in the center. They were only $6.99 each. Oh, I love the dark purple eye. Oh, pink with a dark purple. That's really beautiful. I like that. I can enjoy these all day long. Now, I don't have any kind of water feature, but they have a lot of water plants that to me looked really good. I don't know what they are, so I can't say, hey, there's a blank, because I don't know water plants. They are strange looking. Maybe one of these days I'll try a Hypertufa water feature and that way get into some of these and know what they are. Oh, and I love that fern in a big giant pot. That would be different than them hanging. I think I could do that. In fact, I think that appeals to me more than a hanging pot. But not sure if I'm doing ferns this year. There's a little nerve plant, finicky drama queen. I love the ferns here. Those are pretty. Come back every year. And I have been wanting a button fern. Maybe one of these days. Ivy. No, I'm done with ivy. That's a cute plant. I like that. We'll come back to you. Now this is a peperomia. I like that. I've seen this several times in different stores. I really like the looks of that. They have identified it as a pixie green, $7.99, but it really is pretty. I like that. I have a lot of peperomia already, and I sure like to have another one. Always looking for another plant. That croton is really pretty. I haven't had a croton in a long time because all I need to do is bring it into my house. It drops all its leaves and just lays over and dies. But they are so pretty in the greenhouse. That one's especially colorful. Kalanchoe there. And then the syngonium or nephthyitis, whichever one you call that thing. I guess they're the same thing. Spider plants. And the waffle plant. I haven't had a waffle plant. I may need to pick one of those up too because they're pretty. And I tend to like things with a intense color. I think that would look really good. I'll have to read about it. Sorry I didn't get that into focus. I'll have to read about it so I know if they're finicky. Don't want another thing like the nerve plant. Those nerve plants really got on my last nerve. Now that I went back to that China doll, however you say that, it's kind of a little fernish like tree. And I read up real quickly, and it says it's a little bit finicky. You move them, get them into a different location, and they drop their leaves and pull as they fit, but the leaves will grow back and straighten up, so I may experiment and try one. Now I think that's the peperomia, the obtusifolia, the mini rubber plant. I like those. I think they're pretty. Most of this size is the $7.99 here at Andy's Gardens. But their greenhouse does appear to be very, very nice. Everything's in really good shape. I didn't notice any problems in the greenhouse that would make me want to run away. I am tempted by this one. Maybe that was the one I wanted to come back for. I'll figure this out one day. I will need to make the second trip and go back. But you'll see what I did end up with. I don't know if they're near the watery plants, so I don't know if those are, they don't look like water plants, maybe just moisture-loving plants, because I can see some hosta and different plants. Oh, look at this. Look at this oak leaf ivy. Isn't that gorgeous? They have it in a hanging pot, and it is huge. I just fell in love when I saw that. Many years ago, I had a grape ivy, and it's a type of grape ivy. And I like the shape of the leaves. I like how well and vigorously it grew. And I have told myself, be on the lookout for those. And when you see them, grab one. And I've seen a few in like Lowe's or Home Depot for $15 in one of those small pots. But nothing like these huge ones. Now the peace lilies, real pretty, love the blooms. Another finicky plant, but mostly just a water lover. If you water it every day, you shouldn't have any problem with that. Love those plants too. The spider plants, that overhead shot looks really good. I need to hang a bunch in the porch. And then I ran across another oak leaf ivy. And I thought, it's a sign that I should get it. I love this. This one's even bigger than the one that was hanging. This one is kind of sitting on a shelf. Maybe it's in a bird bath. I hot-footed it right back up and got a cart. I thought, this one's not going to escape me. I ran back through there. You can see how huge that thing is. I ran back there and got it. They're only $22.99. And when the $15 one at Lowe's and Home Depot is 1/4 the size of that, if not smaller, this one is the better buy. So I carried it back out to my cart. Let me get it in there and I will show you how huge this thing is. Now look at that. That's one of those giant carts that you get in the garden center. Look how huge that is. I love it. And you know what the first thing I'll do? Cut off some of those long strands and try to root it. Try to make more plants. That's my stick these days. That's what I like to do. There it is. I bought it, $22.99. I'm ready. Just happened to have a tarp in the trunk of my car in case I bought anything at the garden center when I was there. But it just fits in there. I could have squeezed a few more plants if I needed to, but this'll do. And now I'm home. Look at that. I love it. I told my husband, I said, you're going to have to help me film it because I want to show pulling it out of the trunk of my car so that everybody can see how big this plant is. It is just gorgeous. I am so thrilled. if you can't tell. It is just gorgeous. See those long trailers? I swear I was running over them with the shopping cart. That's how long they are. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm going to get this in the house, pose for my thumbnail on the video, and let's get this ready. Won't go out yet, too cold here in Ohio, but that's going to be out on that screened-in porch. I won't have ferns this year. I'm going to have the oak leaf ivy. But thanks for watching, and be sure and stick around for another video. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.